Set preview for Constructed, mostly focused on Standard. That's the format of the next PT, and the set's like fairly weak. So, anyways, usually most of the cards, maybe, well, not most of the cards. That's where the most new cards are going to be playable is Standard, but if people want to mention Pioneer, Modern, even Vintage, Legacy, there's always that one or two card that's not very good in any format, but can actually be good in Vintage because of the wearing nature of Vintage and stuff. Feel free, and we can just I'll have a little like text document, and we can add notes and stuff. Adalbert Steiner, 2/1 lifelink for 2. When it it gets +1/+1 for each equipment you control. So it's good with clouds. Seems pretty bad. Maybe you play 1 if really it's like what your deck's doing. But, Aerith Gainsborough, a white and 2, 2/2 lifelink, human cleric. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, put a X +1/+1 counters on each letter and creature controller, or X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith Gainsborough. So I'm going to be referencing my live game deck a lot just because I've been playing it a lot and it's pretty decent. But is there anything else, any other deck in any constructed format where you're like gaining life on a regular basis and that also runs other legendary creatures? Like Abzan Yogg, maybe, I guess? I don't know. That's not a thing, right? Plaza of Heroes is still legal in Standard now, so I guess let's focus on Standard now. But if people want to mention, like, post-rotation stuff, why not? Martyr, Proxol Sister, sub tier in Modern. Problem is that second, the die ability is so narrow, so weird. I mean, I could see it is base lifelink, and I could see playing in my deck if I have other legends in the deck, and if I get the bonus once in a while. You do have like, maybe you play one of these. If you're playing, maybe you're playing Cloud and something. You play with one or two of these, and then there's the 1-drop that's pretty good that gives stuff and whatnot. If you chum block her with 0, does she get a counter? Whenever you gain life, I mean, she deals damage. I don't get it. She's still dealing the damage. She has lifelink. If you chum block her with 0. I'm assuming she's some kind of healer in the game, and when she dies, she heals one of your other characters. 4 mana, choose one. Take the elevator. Create free heroes. Free tokens is like expensive, but there's not a ton of cards that make free tokens. Tap up to free target creatures, put a stun counter on the one of them. I mean, it's a nice synergy, right? You go wide when you need the bodies, and you finish people off when it's pretty nice. Ambrosia Whiteheart, 2/2 for 2 flash birds. Bird's probably one of the first decks people are going to build. Maybe, I mean, definitely something I'm going to try in the pre-release. By the way, pre-release this weekend, right? Pre-release event is the usual, I think. If I'm not mistaken. It starts on Wednesday evening, and which means I'll be playing on Thursday. I'll try to, be on at, early as possible, probably around noon, realistically 11 or noon, and play till the server goes down, which should give us at least 7 hours. So as always, if you want to make try a list, you can post it on the Discord, have it ready the day of, etc. So 2/2 Flying Flash. When it enters, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. Alright, that's the extra thingy. Extra of that effect. Whenever a lane you control enters, it gets +1/+1 to off turn. Extra toughness, hits harder. Ability is infinitely worse, right? The token thing on the Karen is pretty relevant where you draw cards. I don't know, does Pixie even play the full 8 always? 2 or 3? Well, the problem was any number more than one of the like legend card that's not crucial to your deck is even if you only play two, you're gonna draw two like X amount of the time, and being down a card in standard is a huge deal. Oh, and it doesn't have flying. This doesn't target, which can be relevant. Okay, that's a nice little upside. Let's come up once in a while. Hey, booze. It's a bird, yeah. So I guess this should be on our list of playables, right? It's almost definitely going to see play. Ambrosia, white, art. Playable cards, white. Orzhov might play 1-2, yeah. I mean, Orzhov Pixie's kind of an aggressive deck, right? Hitting for free is kind of nice. Ash Princess of Dalmasca, white into legendary creature, free to whenever it attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So obviously it's nice that it just needs to attack. No damage, no nothing, even if it's blocked. Get the top 5 artifact cards. So how many artifacts you need to hit at like 80% plus rates, which is probably what you want, like 80%, probably a lot. I mean, it'll be good if there's like a cloud deck, right? It could go well in a cloud deck. You're gonna have a lot of equipment, at least some. Pretty weak stats though, but could be like a one of in the perfect deck. There's a lot of these legends. It's like feels like it's gonna be that, one off if it really kind of ticks every box, but it has to be like kind of the perfect storm. For us, ETB and attack maybe. Yeah, I mean, if it was ETB and attack, it would be like just an amazing card. But I don't know. Don't like these white equipment decks. They like give haste, and there's a bunch of stuff that gives haste. Like if you're playing a white red or whatnot. So maybe you get to trigger it once and. Alright. +2/+1 until turn and flashback, attacking creatures. +2/+0 and flashback is a lot. Probably still worth than like a million other options in a deck like Jeskai Convoke and whatnot. Battle menu, instant, uncommon, a white and one, choose one, attack, create a knight, ability, target creature gets +4/+4, destroy target creature with power 4 greater, and you gain 4 life. Power 4 or greater? That's nice against the mouse. That card's really nice against a red deck, right? It kind of does everything you want it to do. Doesn't destroy an enchantment. That'd be all good. Screaming Nemesis? Well, Screaming Nemesis gets to 4 power once in a while. So it hits Slingshot, hits like a lot of creatures in prowess. Against Omniscience, you get a 2/2. Pretty bad though to have the O3 to have lockdown. But at least it's something. It's Oculus. It kills an Oculus. Just get control. Kills all their creatures, basically. Kills a 4/3. The greatest against the main. I don't know. Is that card good enough to see play? I feel like not. Even though it does a lot, I feel like it's still too low impact. So I'm going to say we don't add it to the list. I don't know if anyone disagrees. I think that card's actually going to see play. Maybe not as much as like a Destroy Evil, but still see some play. Maybe post rotation. Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't. I mean, if people want to mention that every time, it's fine. But I can hear the sound of selecting your abilities. 10 out of 10 flavor. All right, Cloud Midgar Mercenary. Seemed like one of the best cards in the set. One of the only really good cards in the set. 2/1 for 2 for white, legendary creature, human soldier mercenary. When it enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, ability triggers an additional time. So, I mean, I think it's obviously going to be good in Modern. Is it going to be good enough to make, Hammer Time or whatnot great again? Good again? Tier 1 again? I don't know. Maybe. That second line, too, is like kind of hard to evaluate, but it might be more relevant than we think. Another version of Stoneforge. I mean, Stoneforge is. Whenever I play against that deck, a lot of the decks are like. Stoneforge are like kind of the best card you can draw. It's so obnoxious. Hey, Timmy. Yeah, pretty good with the swords, right? The swords trigger on dealing damage to most of them, right? Is there a good equipment that triggers on like attack or even just triggers like on turn 2 Cloud, turn 3 Cutter? Yeah, that's an obvious one. Just get more Cutters. Anything exciting for Modern? Cloud probably. Cloud and Sephiroth. Still have trouble figuring out exactly what the signal ID will work well with. Yeah. Cloud plus Cauldron would be since it says ability of clouds. I don't get it. Modern has Bowmaster. Yeah, but I mean, good reason enough to say that card's not gonna be good in Modern.
Unicorn, 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 unicorn.
What swords are in Standard? There's the most recent one that's not bad. You like replay card and stuff. I think there's one in that set too that's decent. Blue Black Sword is French playable in Standard. Hey, mean Fanny Pack. Another month, another resub. Thank you so much for 6 years plus. Appreciate it. Can't wait for Cutter decks to finally be good. Yeah. You guys can get out of your system all the Cutter's jokes right now. And we can move on. Getting 2 monks when Cutter is attached to clouds. Is that how it works? Seems like it would make sense. Works with Spark too. Alright, the obvious. Probably gonna be good in Modern. I'm guessing. I don't know, mean Fanny Pack. You're the expert there. I'm assuming you'd be happy with that card with more Stoneforge effects, even if it's a worse Stoneforge. Maybe play a couple or something. What do you think? Or in other decks that you can think of. You haven't played Hammer since Wrath came out, Wrath Disguise, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people literally played Steel Shaper, which is a white get an equipment. This is, you get a 2-1 body, which I see huge, and, sometimes you do run out of creatures, and extra body adds up and stuff. Sauce says Legacy 8 Stoneforge GNT. Yeah, it's nice with another Ether Vial card. Cryptic Coats. I mean, which deck's gonna play like blue-white Cryptic Coats? I mean, in Modern, I think they already play Cryptic Coat, but I mean, in Standards, just kind of mid-range pile, or sort of Fervent Champion pile. In Modern, the issue in Legacy is it doesn't actually double trigger with pre-war formal wear. That's I forget what that card does. Sword of Fortune Frontier. Equipment, equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from red and from green. Whenever it deals command damage to player, exile type 2 cards out of library. You may play those cards this turn, you play an additional 10 this turn. I don't see anything for Cloud in Standard, really. Mean Fanny Pack. Or, what did I say mean? Steel Cutter. There might be a build around. You could also rebuild. I mean, there might be just a decent wide aggressive deck, whether it's sub theme or whether it's like a full equipment theme or like a equipment sub theme or live gain sub theme, or who knows. It just does so much. It's such a strong card. I don't think Boris Cutter is going to be better than Izzet. Sure, I mean, Izzet's already really good, but people had didn't have many reasons to be white over blue so far. There's something like Skull Clamp in standards. Not sure. Unlike SFM, this is not good at getting in expensive equipment. Yeah. I mean, neither was Steel Shaper though. I see double white is rough. There's dual lands in standard, but definitely need to skew your mana towards white. And then same in modern was Urza Saga. Pretty awkward card was Urza Saga, so. But you already played the other double white card, the one that draws you a card and stuff, even though that Cloud is definitely worse than like the Paladin. But yeah, I mean, Cloud gets added to the list. You double the Ether Spike combat damage triggers. Yeah, I mean, Ether Spark's not the worst. You know, it's not a great card, but if you play one and gives you like kind of a high-ish impact target, you never know. You're playing go wide. You probably have a lot of random creatures to equip. You have to kill them though, or kill the equipment. It's kind of a nice one. All right, Cloudbound Moogle. The plane cycling cycle. Or the land cycling cycle. I mean, they do get the surveillance, right? They get the surveillance. They're all pretty weak from what I remember though, so can't imagine these are gonna see much play. Nah, no limited.
Welcome back, Gab XDD time.
I'd rather not. I mean, if you have some like especially interesting take or something that's not obvious, or feel free to share, but I'm not gonna be discussing cards for constructed. Everyone knows, you know, land cycling creatures are pretty good in limited usually. GTF Foot, thank you so much for the 55 months. Welcome back as well. Carol. Okay, 2242 tapper. Alright, what can we get with Cloud? We can get Crystal Fragments. 1 mana equipment, 1 to equip. It gets +1/+1. So it's kind of a bone. No, what was it? The Scimitar in the very, very first equipment set. At 7, exile this equipment, return to battlefield transformed. Space. 4 free print, all damage that we dealt to creatures you control this turn for 2 turns. Tap all creatures your opening controls. Yeah. Leonine Scimitar, yep. 7 mana, the Crystal's Chosen, create 4 heroes, 1/1, put a +1/+1 on each creature you control. Delivery Moogle. 3/2 flying for 4 when this creature enters, search your library and or graveyard for an artifact card with mana with Tierlist related, put into your hand. Search your library this way, shuffle. I mean, obviously if it was in play, we'd be in business. In your hand, I doubt it. Diane, haven't seen that one yet, I think. 4 mana, legendary free. During your turn, Diane and other knights you control have flying. So it's a free flying basically for 4. When it enters, create a 2/2 token. Knight. Wow. Okay. 6 tap, exile, then return it transformed. 5/5, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying. Giga Flare. Destroy target permanent, exile bound, and wow. I mean, sure it does a lot. This one does seem nice. Startups 5/5 flying, yeah. Good was Elspeth. It is nice, yeah. It's nice 4. What are the nice 4s? I mean, you gotta compete with Bisa, you get to compete with White Overlords. White Overlord Evoked or whatever gives you 2/2 flyers. This gives you a free and a 2/2. It is much better than a White Overlord on 4. And it kind of has like that looming ability to looming threats. Does it do more than Bisa? In a bunch of spots it does. It's better in an aggressive deck. Visa's more of a defensive card. This is a lot, it's flyers too, like flying's pretty irrelevant. Is it good if it never flips for constructed? It is gonna flip. I mean, I don't know why, it's kind of silly to say it's never gonna flip. Two bodies, 5/5 flying for 4. 5/5 flying, like a 5/5 flying for 4 is just not a playable card. But the two bodies thing, the token thing. Also, wasn't there's probably a lot of good knights, right? And people do block. People do cast like what Bisa to block or random tokens. Let's see. Prowess tokens. The O free Philology. Oculus have a few ground creatures like Nemesis can block. Curiosity, Preacher of the Schism, Shield Dread, Green Overlord, etc., etc. I've had to grab the 2 tokens from Overlord many times because B-Sec couldn't block it, yeah. Good enough to add to the list, I think. Once again, it's probably going to be a one-of in a lot of decks. It's going to be a one-of in the decks that really want that kind of effect because the legendary thing is kind of a big deal. Especially expensive legendaries. Virtue of Loyalty makes a knight, yeah. Other sides, you get a 5/5 that puts counters on each other creature you control right away, and the game flying. I mean, that kills basically kills people in 2 turns. It's kind of nice if you're just playing, I mean, Elspeth's one of the best cards in Standard, right? And it goes really well with Elspeth, like arguably better than Bisa in an Elspeth deck. Like much better than Bisa in an Elspeth's aggressive deck. Or mid-range deck. It doesn't block Oculus. I mean, you kind of have problems if you're not killing the Oculus, probably. I think if you're on a slow card, you want B-sub, big card, you want Overlord. I mean, it could be. I mean, I just said, it's never going to be more than 1 or 2 offs, probably. Unless you're like dedicated Knight aggro. And maybe you play like 2 or 3 as your top of the curve, but. You play. I'm not saying this card's going to change Standard forever, but I'm sure there's some decks that already play 4 Overlords and you just want more of that effect. Can we have some sort of white aggro deck when Cutter's around? If you have the cards that line up well, cards like Loran, which fits the legend theme of the set, If you have like built-in ways, cards that line up nicely against that deck. Mono Eye Live Game get available? Yeah, I mean, this type deck, right? This is a White Hunt Master of the Fells, been called. Alright, Dragoon's Land. So white and 1 equipment, job select. So job select is kind of like the germ one, except you get a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and you attach a thing to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and is a knight in addition to its other types. During your turn, equipped creature has flying. Then it equips for 4. So you get a 2/1 knight that has flying on your turn. The equipment dies, you keep the 1/1, and the creature dies, you keep the equipment around. Do they really have to make equip 4? I guess they have to think about limited when they make a card like that. And it's like just nice, you can get it with clouds. Just adds up, makes your draws way more consistent. A lot of time, you play cloud, you don't want to get just a silly equipment because you need the body, the creatures, and so that's kind of, I don't know if there's a better job select. I think that was like one of the few and probably the better one, but I forget. The other knights already played in standards. I'm gonna open arena. It's probably a good way to check. We can take our time on the set review. Just make sure everyone gets to mention what they want to mention, etc. Not in a rush. One thing I think about these equipment is quite a few are good to be moved around with Enigma Jewel. Obviously, they're not meant to be moved around. Bastra is a knight. Not the worst card in the world. That thing's so flat at some point when flag decks were everywhere. Bodyguard is a knight. Knight Aaron of Eos is a knight. Virtue of Loyalty makes a knight. Inti is a knight. That thing's not the worst one drop. Not the best. Recruiter's a knight and makes knights. Dread Knight is a knight. The card's a bit of flat at some point when I line up well. There's your Night Lords, not very good, but Evasion makes knights. Bartolome is a knight. Maybe there's like some combo decks. That card's decent. That's a knight. Liege. Ginger. That card's not the worst. Simic living in deck lists. Hate avoiding, welcome to the chat. Not exactly what we're discussing right now, unless there's new cards. For creator, for endurance, for Charlotte, for street society, for waker, for living in. Or press the enemy. My experience playing with that card is it's not that great, and I can't imagine ever wanting 4 of that effect. Seems like this deck would just not find living end often enough, even with the press the enemy. Like, the upside of just playing 2 colors doesn't seem worth it. You're just losing too much, I think, and you're not gaining enough. Is there a better job select? Because there's the other ones, right? The one that gives you a 2/2. The white-red ones or the red ones from that said that's still standard legal. So maybe this won't see play just because they'll be better. What are they called already? Hello, Heretico. Oh yeah, for Meriden. Thank you. 2 free for free. There's one that's cost specifically 2. There's a red one that's better. If you're playing red, you already have better. If you're not playing red, but if you're playing Cloud and equipments, you probably want to be white red. So technically, you know, Dragon Lance or Dragoon's Lance fills kind of a void there. So I'll add it to the list. Sorry, Alex. Life is dragging me out of Magic so much, but I miss you guys. Well, I hope it's not all bad then. Whatever is dragging you out, could be for the best, right? The whip, yeah, the whip was the best one, right? That thing. 2/2 double strike. Kemba still legal. Yeah, we can try birds. We can try dedicated equipment deck. Whenever Kemba or another cat you control enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to that creature. Or creatures you control gets +1. That's the hammers that are legal in standards. I guess we should probably get like a little equipment refresh. Chainsaw, steel cutter, obviously. That card's not the worst either. 2 mana, search an aura and equipment. You get body. I've lost just that card on the ladder before. This whole thing I tried, I remember it was just too expensive. I mean, that card's fine as a top of your curve, not as a 4-up though. Bad like color is legal. Maybe there's some combos there. Death Touch Lifelink. Lost Jete is pretty cheap. Pretty cheap one to get and activate. That's worse, not so worse. I see pretty decent against mono reds. Blue black. I mean, blue black can't deal with equipments, right? They do have Tidebinder, which is obnoxious. They do have Tidebinder. The Leyline decks. Make a card like later unplayable. Ether Spark for the ambitious. And that card is also pretty good against red decks. I mean, that could be the big deal for Cloud, right? Having that toolbox every step of the curve. Like, you kind of have all your bases covered, honestly. You have the, like, super expensive, well, not super expensive, you have the expensive lifelink stuff. You know, you have an excuse to maybe put Leyline in your deck. Ether Spark, you've got the blue pro black against blue black decks. You got pro red against the red decks. You got like the cheap utility one. Like pretty. You got the ones that just make a creature for you. You have the removal one if you want to steel cutter. Expert versus monocolored 1-drop. Yeah, I mean 4 to equip is a lot, and you're not gonna like. Was it gonna maybe you're gonna have a white red creature, or whatever. Gold and 2. Let's. What about abilities from Cloud that triggers? Let's see. So counters trigger twice, right? Isn't that one really good with Clouds? You get 2 counters every time it deals damage. And then you untap 2 lands. You have to trigger the same one, right? You don't get to like choose another one. You have to choose a different target, I guess, but you don't get to like mix and match the abilities. Someone mentioned Ether Spark doubling the counters and stuff. The swords, you need to deal damage, but and someone mentioned steel cutters too. If your steel cutter is attached to Cloud and it triggers, you get 2 1/1s. You get 2 counters. Oh, right, it's an activated ability, so it's not just like ×2 ×2. That would have been nice. Yeah. All double counters already kind of nice because that card, I mean, it hasn't seen play so far. I've seen people cast it against me. It's like not completely unplayable, but maybe that's puts it over the top. Oh, the new Ride's End. Fate of the Sun Christ. Probably. Crystal. The Sun Christ. White and 4 instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a tap creature. Sort of target non-land permanent, so it doesn't exile. It's 1 more on a creature. The upside is you get to target any permanent. I mean, I don't see that card being played in high numbers. It's just not efficient enough. But, you know, maybe like, you know, one-ofs in Bean's deck. Is there something better? Irate Freeman I destroyed is very, very rough. Beans card, yeah, for sure. There's no way you play that card if you're not playing Beans. Just too bad of a rate. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna see play even in like Beanstack. I'm not gonna add it to the list. Yeah, I mean I hate Get Lost, but you probably still play Get Lost over that, I would guess. I mean, I guess I won't. Maybe I'll play that over Get Lost because my hatred of Get Lost. From father to son, a white and one sorcery. Search your library for a vehicle card, reveal it, and put it into your hands. Okay, not very exciting. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, put that card onto the battlefield instead, then shuffle. 7 mana. Or you can flash it back in different ways for 2 mana. This plus snap, yeah. Are there good snapcasters in standard? There's a new one, the blue one. This plus Wishing Well. 4 mana, tap, put a coin counter on this artifact. When you do, you may cast an instant sorcery card. It's mana value equal to the number of coin counters on this card. Okay, how do we cheat this in? Well, apparently Wishing Well. There's that like expensive the white 7 mana one. What's the best vehicle? I think it's pretty nice.
Time for quadruple.
Oh, Chico.
And so quadruple a time.
Chico and Fur pass exile first, so it doesn't work. Jan, thanks, bud. Thanks for everything. Really appreciate you. That thing's pretty nice too. That one's pretty nice. A lot of them have cycling. Seems like you would have to have like some kind of cycling reuse from the graveyard plus. Hola, Nodi. Hola, everyone. There is a 4-mana vehicle to reanimate that turns into a creature permanently. Right, return a vehicle graveyards. Tune up. Return target artifact card from graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a vehicle, it becomes an artifact creature. And then you still have shit like Portal and whatnot, right? So maybe there's like some like mid-range combo control like deck there that you can do. Ice Painter Gab. I think I did a pretty good job. I don't think I sanded the walls enough in the spot where I used the filling. So you can tell there was something there, but hopefully my tenant is happy enough. I thought I did good. I didn't remove all the protections yet from like this, so I don't know if I made a mess. I don't think so, but it was interesting. I wish I'd prepped a little better, sanded a little better, took more my time more, and been a little better organized too. But you know, that was to be expected the first time you do something, even with all the help I got from chat. Considering you actually rushed it, it's a feat already. Thank you. The thing about sanding is that no matter how smooth you get it, you wish you did at least a little more. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I could get a sponsorship from yeah. Anyways, back to our from father to son. Isn't sanding just you can get the paint to their stick? Well, I sanded the whole wall, but probably not enough. But also sanding is to get the stuff even and make it disappear. Because now I painted it and you can tell, you know, there's definitely like a little mark. You can tell the wall was cracked and I filled it and stuff. Anyways, search your library for a vehicle card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Definitely a build around. We might be able to find out during early access on Thursday. I'm not gonna add it. Should I add it to the list of playables? I'm assuming not, but as anyone has like something in mind or really believes in that card. What do you think will happen to Urza Saga as all this changes? I mean, it just makes it better, right? The Blood Moon, so. Think it's gonna get banned, you mean? I don't know. It's not like Urza Saga decks are dominating Modern, right? Halo Forger works. Maybe there's a good Esper, Esper Reanimate Vehicle deck. Probably not functional enough, and that card's really bad against Graveyard Hate, and people already have reasons to play Ghost Vacuum and Flankers and whatnot. Bathroom review. Maybe I'll do a bathroom review stream. When I go back, I'll do a Street Breaker stream. Alright, Virahatia. 5 mana. Not bad, but Jellycat. Okay. Someone stop me. Oh, there's an expensive job select. 5 mana, job select, equipment, artifact. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact you control as an artificer in addition to its other type. Equip 4? Wow, that thing's massive. Thing's a monster. It's gonna kill people pretty fast. Is it better than dissection tools though? Big Nettle Cyst. Nettle Cyst is 3 mana on a 0/0. +1/+1. Nettle Cyst counts enchantments too, right? It's like 2 to equip. This combos with Sid. What does Sid do already? I'm gonna like that card. I'll add it to the list. I feel like if we added Dragoon's Lance, we should probably add that, but maybe we're starting to add too many expensive cards already. Yeah, I mean, it's free based, right? Can't imagine it's that hard to be much bigger. Magitech Armor. It's a 4/4/4/4, you get an extra body. That was pretty nice too. Magitech Infantry, 1/1 for 1, robot soldier artifact creature. It's +1/+1 when you control another artifact. So like you want a clue token, any treasure. White 2 search for a card named Magitech Infantry planet. Excuse me? That card's kind of nice. Card seems like it would be good in Jeskai Convoke. Bonjour, Adam. Jewel, yeah. I don't know if you want to play Jewel and you're aggressive. That seems like you would have pretty wonky draws. But, yeah. I mean, that card just seems pretty solid, honestly. Plus, if you draw 2, it's a 2/1 for 1. There's a huge upside. I'm going to add that card to the list. That card's surely. Plus, it's an artifact for the red spell, right? I mean, not that I'm a big fan of Jeskai Convoke, but it usually puts up at least solid-ish numbers. Are people still playing Jeskai Convoke in Standard? What did Jeskai Convoke do? 43%. Not a lot of matches, though. And it's actually like a hit you can get was Knight a soldier thing? I forget. Minwu White Mage. White free. Human Cleric. Legend obviously. Free. Vigilance lifelink whenever you gain life. Put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. I mean, the ability is pretty disgusting, but you already have the Angel at 4. You have to like be dedicated cleric. White black, I guess, is cleric, right? Okay, the rabbit is a cleric. The Chandler is a cleric. Peacekeeper is a cleric. That angel is a cleric. That thing's a cleric. Some people want to put that card in the. I don't know. 5 mana is a casting cost of Elspeth though. Which says I feel like infantry will be lackluster compared to other ways constantly making 1/1s every turn in current meta. Yeah. Is that thing still legal? The Angel 2/4? Preacher's a cleric. That thing kills people pretty fast. Offspring is nice, obviously. Other clerics you control get +1/+1. Someone mentioned that card in the Discord the other day. 5 tap, sacrifice another cleric search value for black creature card, put it in battlefield, then shuffle. That's a real ability. It's a pretty good ability. That thing never saw play, but it's a pretty decent card too. That thing's a cleric and triggers a 5/5. Zorlin is a cleric. You get to play Bat. The Priest is a cleric. Alright, what are we thinking? Minwu. Good enough as a 1 or 2 off in some kind of deck? Or just too meany of an ability? You could hang a nice print of ducks playing poker over the rest on your bathroom wall. I'll let just my tenant hang something if they want to. Mainly focusing on standard, yeah, mostly because of the power level, but we'll talk about other formats, or if you want to mention about other formats, that's definitely fine and even encouraged. The one thing I don't want is limited talk, unless you have a really interesting, like, insightful point, not like, oh, cycling cars are good and limited because you flood less and you screw less, you know? Just much worse than that angel. Is it much worse than... And in my life game deck, yeah, I mean, not even close, but it would be like a bit different. You do have like clerics though. Cleric. Either bats or cleric. The Chandler is a bad cleric. Maybe a dedicated like bad cleric deck. But yeah, I mean, and you know, you've got Angel at 4, and then you got Elspeth at 5. It's gonna be really hard to compete with that. Yes, compete with Elspeth, just pretty brutal. Yeah, that's true, Macy. If you are building like completely around it, I mean, it is a better effect than cleric. You need to have a lot of creatures, a lot of staying power, a lot of like stuff that resists your removal. I was getting to 5 mana. A big reason why deck has been good, I think, is like the length. At least the links have lifelink. Bad card next. Alright, fair enough. Mughals Valor. Speaking of competing with Elspeth, 5 mana instant for each creature you controlled, create a 1/2 white Mughal creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. It's kind of a weird card, right? There's a bunch of things. Instant speed, indestructible, lifelink stuff. But it does literal nothing if you don't already have at least one creature in play. go ahead and tokens go wide. Anti-Wrath card, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone like see anything special about that card, or should we just go next? Not a job select. Like a lot of time, even like there used to be these 3 mana creatures that protected you against Wrath, and even that was like kind of tricky to keep mana up for, and you have to get to 5 mana in your aggressive deck. Macy's gonna play 4 in every deck she builds, but Hey Max says just realized decklist submissions for T is in like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's the same timeline as usual though. Maybe one of sideboard against control. I mean, it is versatile, right? But yeah, 5 mana, Elspeth, etc. Paladin's Arm. White and 2 artifact equipment, job select, equipped creature gets +2/+1, has ward 1, and is a knight, in addition to its other types. So you get a free 2 ward 1 knight, and equip 4. I mean, you got Cryptic Code that's free if you're playing blue. You've got, and if you're mono white, it's and you're playing a cloud deck, you probably want that as a one of. But we're not even sure cloud's gonna be like good enough. Hey, getting raided by my sponsor. Who was it? It was Solaris, right? Hope you had a good stream, bud. Thanks for the raids. We're doing a full set review for Constructed. Been at for a while and we haven't even come close to finishing. Like maybe we should go a little faster. Even though I do want to take my time. Phoenix down, 1 white, artifact. White and 1 exile this artifact. Choose 1, return target creature whose mana value 4 less from a graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Exile skeleton, spirit, or zombie. So it's like a worse, kind of a worse reanimate spell, whatever it's called, a 2 mana one. It's more expensive. Oculus is, there's no like 4 mana creature you can cheat into play, right? Like an Oculus. The Oculus, and then exile target skeleton, spirit, or zombie. I mean, I'm sure it kills stuff, but I can't imagine. So the upside is it's a 1 mana permanent. Maybe you can get it. Maybe you can recur it itself. Then it recurs your creatures. But let's see if people have any cool combos. This plus Gear Hulk. This plus White Gear Hulk. Okay. It's actually, it's somewhat legit. I mean, you already have Pixie. And it's an artifact. It triggers a Wormlight in a white-green deck. Oh, it does kill Nemesis? Okay, let's go. That's actually pretty sick. Oh, it exiles itself. You can't get it back. Kills Nemesis and Shiko. It is an instant speed reanimation. That's a good point. That's actually a really good point, right? It's like good against Ghost Vacuum. Okay. Willow makes the Omnia Spirit. Does it? Okay, there we go. All the clan dragons are spirits. Are any of these played? Clan dragons. Let's see. Spirits, legends. Oh, these ones you mean? Bliss has a zombie. Slasher is a zombie. Kind of nice to exile. What's the other type? Skeleton. That's just the mythics though. And the rares. Sheikah's the only one getting played. Alright, I mean, I think it's good enough. Does enough. Like White Gear Hulk actually being a tier 2-ish deck, maybe. Chad, does anyone know when the FF rules change is going to affect on Murder trying to plan for showcases this weekend? Wow. Family Veil Brack. Restoration Magic, white. Instant. So tiered is the kind of like Spree, but except you only get to choose one. So for 1 white, target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. For a white and 1, it gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 3 life, and for 5, it's permanents you control gain indestructible life, and you gain 6 life. And it's permanent too. Feel like it doesn't do enough. I could be wrong. Should we just go next, or is that card any good? Side quest, catch a fish, white into enchantment. Begin of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's an artifact or creature card, you may reveal it, put it in your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, create a food token and transform this enchantment. Cooking campsite. Taps for white. Play on tapped. 3 taps, second artifact on each creature. So you want to be a creature artifact base deck. Kind of go wide to really min-max. And assuming that card's just bad. Surge of Salvation, see slated for deck lockdown. Yeah, I was wondering if that could be better than Surge of Salvation. Slash of Lights. Next. Ooh, Stealth Skin, Moogle Merchant. A white 1/2 lifelink, legend, Moogle. 2 tap, target open, gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card. So Pact is still legal, right? And the body's kind of decent. You can give lands. It doesn't say none lands. So you can start giving your lands to draw cards. You can give like random treasures and stuff. Final Fantasy 9 apparently. When it says FF, I'm assuming, are any of these in more than one Final Fantasy besides like, yeah, Demonic Pact, Greed Gambits. I mean, I'll probably play 1 or 2 in my live game deck, you know. Moogles are in each Final Fantasy. So, yeah, I'll add it to the list. I don't know if someone has anything else to mention rather than putting it in a live game deck, putting it in, Demonic Pact deck. It's another target for the white-green cards. White-green Gearhulk. It's all slow and stuff. You're probably better off just getting, straight up an Inspector if you need some value, or Pixie, etc. But most summons are in more than one game, but they picked one, yeah. Alright, the first one of the big sagas. So they're creatures, they're enchanting creatures, Saga Knight, free for 8, indestructible. First 4 chapters, you create 3 knights. And then 5th chapter, other creatures you control get +2/+1 on turn, put an indestructible counter on each of them. So it's obviously insanely powerful. I mean, most of these, it's mostly like, how do you cheat them into play, obviously, how do you reanimate them? Because it's when it enters, it triggers. There's like, I don't know, there's a bunch of them. There's the colorless one, there's Bubber says, love it, but we got omniscience. Sure, but this does it on its own, and this you can this is a creature, right? So it's all different. Can you cavern it? Yeah, you can cavern it. It's also like, yeah, 2 mana you can actually cast that. And there's the white-green. There's the white-green cards that reanimates enchantments. Let's add it to the list, and then as we, I'm assuming it's gonna see, Omniscience was the second most played decks, and it has a few applications and whatnot, so you could play it alongside, yep. Could be a cage target. Sneak attack with Saga and Standard. Not ideal, too good, I guess. But maybe. Ultima. 5 mana, destroy all artifact and creatures, end the turn. Exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including discard. Player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size, damage wears up, and this turn and until a certain effect. So it stops triggers, I guess? It stops dice triggers is the point. Anything else? Good rev that stops death triggers. Doesn't let them flash a thing enough turn either. Okay. It's good against Blue Curiosity. So concretely, what does it stop in standard right now? Where is our little... Against Is It Prowess? I mean, they can opt and stuff in response. This guy, Oculus, Mono Red Aggro, just go. Doesn't seem like there's a... Besides Blue Curiosity and the two... Besides the mere mid-range. Oh, the die abilities, I guess. Sorry, I forgot about that. Die abilities. Heartfire Hero, I guess? Let's get very specific here. Oh, it destroys artifacts. Yeah, that's like kind of like, I don't know. Oh, it exiles the enduring creatures. That's huge. You can't flash the blue one and it exiles it. Thank God it's 5 mana. Well, so you can draw a bean, you mean? Ultima plus 3 mana Teferi. I mean, that doesn't sound like that bad. Like, extra mana is tough in Modern compared to a Verdict, but that's kind of legit, honestly. I feel like it's like gonna see playing Modern with stuff. Cheaper time stuff. Alright, well, that was a lot of interesting interactions. Let's add it to the list. Oh, do you not get to draw with beans? No, it triggers result first, right before the spell. Every time someone mentions that a 5+ mana card triggers bean, we have to drink, okay? It's the best option once Sunfall rotates. Venat, Heart of Idolin. White 1. Legendary creature, Elder Wizards, free. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Oh yeah, that was one of the most recently spoiled. 7 mana tap, exile it. No, exile target non-land permanent. Oh, you get to kill something too. And you transform it. 4/4 flying in this. No, 4/4 indestructible. I mean, of combat on your turn, put +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Next turn, gain indestructible. If that creature is legendary, draw a card. So triggers of Mox is one of the obvious ones. Mox Amber, best friend. Let's look at the flyer on the back. Yeah. So, I mean, is there a legend deck in standard? Maybe. They did make a lot of legends. A lot of them are like not exciting enough to be built around and see more played and playing one off here and there. But I mean, Cloud is a legend. So maybe there are just enough legends in like you pick 2 colors and you just play all the legends and you have Plaza. Maybe Plaza lets you play free. I mean, legends used to be a thing in standard, right? Is Rafine still like standard legal? Am I misspelling Rafine? Do I have some filter? Unironically, like Rafine is not. B-side of the legends. Triggers Planeswalkers. Elishnorn. Loran. And he joins up as a deck. Yeah, played it a bit the other day. Did not look very good. Rono. Relic of Legends plus that. Run that Relic of Legends still legal, yeah. But it only triggers once each turn. It's pretty expensive. I'm not gonna add it to the list. I don't think so, yeah. Women's Vendors. 4 mana, 2/2. When this creature enters, draw a card. Meaning of combat on your turn. If you control an equipment, you may pay 1. When you do attach target equipment, you control target card. Cool cards. 4 mana. Oblivion Ring and taps for whites. Could be good in the Bay deck, right? There's actually, you have Perilous Snare on 3, but I don't think there's an Oblivion Ring effect on 4. And then I could see wanting to ramp. I could see that being in the artifact deck. You're a good point about Battlefront. You really want to limit them. Should I add it to the list, knowing that if it's displayed, it's literally like one-off in the artifact deck, probably? Or is that silly to add it to the list? Alright, let's move on. It's not like the artifact deck is tier 1 anyways right now. Another 2-mana job select. This one's a 2/2. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain 1 life. And it's a cleric? Mono white Cloud Cleric. And if you equip it to, I mean, it's not very exciting. If you equip it to Cloud, you gain 2 life instead. I guess you gain 1 life twice, which triggers a lot. It's not terrible for an artifact deck. You do get the 1/1 life behind. But I mean, you've got Carrot Cake and stuff. Once again, it's like literally you want to be Cloud, you want to be a life gain something. I don't think that's like all gonna pan out, but the Crystal Cycle, the Wind Crystal, white 2. They're not playables, right? These cards. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If you gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. 6 stab creatures you control gain flying and lifelink. I mean, it makes no sense to make such an expensive cards that reduce other cards you cast and stuff. The hero token is colorless, I think. 1/1 colorless. Alright, let's move on. You're not alone. A white +2/+2. If you control 4 more creatures, +4/+4. Zack Fair, 0/1, a white, enters with +1/+1 counter on it, 1 sack. Target creature control gains indestructible until off turn. Put Zack Fair's counter on that creature and attack. Attach an equipment that was attached to Zack Fair to that creature. I mean, this plus Cloud plus... Oh, that's another legend. You can put the counters from that 1 3-mana legendary creature with lifelink and stuff. Earth, I think it's called, like... I mean, counters is a thing still in Standard, right? There was, like, white-green decks, right? Was the Monolith and whatnot. This plus Cauldron. So if you put his ability on with Cauldron, then all your creatures with counters on them gain... Well, it says Zack Fair. I'm assuming... Does that work? Yeah. It does work, okay. Means itself, okay. Target creature you control gains in this... So you can save your bigger creatures with your smaller ones. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the highest win rate was Abs and Roots. Maybe that card is good in broken Abs and Roots standard deck. Also, 1-mana legends, like 1-mana reasonable legends. Maybe in other formats and stuff. Should we add it to the list? Seems like people are kind of hyped about Zack Fair. Ishgard the Holy Sea. Enters tapped, white, 5 mana. Return up to 2 target artifact and/or enchantment cards from guard to your hand. Was that one of the later ones' fault? Because I remember thinking they were all trash until this fold, the red one. I mean, I don't think you can play that card in a 2-color deck, and in a 1-color deck, it's probably just worse than Sunken Citadel, right? Mega trash? Okay, let's move on. Beatrix, Loyal General, 6 mana. Legend 4/4 Vigilance. At beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of equipment you control to target creature. Next. Unless someone obviously just stop me or say something. If Rosa Resolute White Mage. 4 mana, 2/3, Human Noble Cleric Reach. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Alright, just trash, right? Alright, so white we've got Ambrosia Whiteheart, which is the new Karen. Clouds, which gets the 2/1, gets the equipment. Dion is 3/3 plus a 2/2/4/4 plus flying plus flip ability. We added Dragoon's Lance and Arsenal as decent object, but Magic at Infantry. It's an artifact for Jeskai Convoke, I guess. Phoenix Down, kind of cool. Stealth Skin. So what's the best card so far? In white, what would people say? As best card as in most likely to have an impact in standard right now. Cloud? People believe in clouds? Let's define it that way. It's tricky because a card can spawn a new archetype, or it could be like, which card is going to see play in the most decks at the next PT, you know, even if it's just a one-off. So if you go with that rating, it could just be like Ambrosia, right? Everyone puts one-off in their Pixie deck, and it's played like, I don't know, it's played by 10% of the field. Whereas Cloud, you know, might be like 5 players who play a Cloud deck. You know, maybe Ultima sees plays in sideboard and stuff, and like 20% of the field, I don't know, play Ultima. I'm saying silly numbers. Knights and Omni as an additional. Yeah, people mentioned that. All right. Let's take a really quick break before we start blue. I'm gonna go just.